Hello, everybody. Happy Sunday to you. I am going to start off where I left last time, which is with the pyramid of mental health. So, this whole thing has a shadow to it that is self esteem. So that we're clear that also self esteem is a major portion of your mental health, but it's also just like these three things at the same time. Like it's the shadow. It's a little different. It's not exactly the same as what's on this page. It's the shadow of it. It can be skewed. It can be hidden. It can be out there for everyone to see. It's a concept that is also much more linked to your objective, subjective reality, what you think the universe expects out of you, what you expect out of yourself, who you want to be, what the universe wants you to be, which you should look to yourself most for your self-esteem. I wouldn't worry too much about other stuff. And you should think about who you want to be and whether or not you're being that person, because it will matter. If you get 20 years down the road and you once wanted to be somebody and now you're someone else completely, I mean, it might be all right. You might be okay with it. I don't think it plays out that way too often these days right now with just the direction things are going. All right. Any questions about self-esteem I can answer, but it's a lot to get into overall. So I'm going to stop there for now. Might touch back on it at other times, but we'll see. What I want to talk about today is this: abuse versus love. You have all kinds of ideas from people who think that they can cut the world into two, you know, good and evil, creation and destruction. You got black versus white. And the true yin and yang, if you ask me, if you're truly, I mean, outside of maybe selfish and selflessness, which really doesn't make a whole, that doesn't actually math out as well as people think it might, or any of the other ones do as well. That's why they're kind of fuzzy. I think the clarity comes when you look at life. You either choose love or you choose abuse. You can't really choose either. It plays a huge part in our behavior. It plays a huge part in our personalities, and it plays a huge part in the outcomes of our lives, especially when you look at a collective sense. Right now, we have a very abusive population. We have abusive leadership. That's how that works, and it sucks for those of us who don't want to be abusive, because how am I supposed to make money when I'm just a good guy and I solve problems and I'm smart and I conduct myself appropriately and I'm not really trying to abuse anybody. So I'm getting abused, and it's tough to deal with when the whole thing is just abusive. It's tough. I'll find a way, I'm sure, but it's really sad that in our country right now, I think most people would agree, at least anybody who's paying a lot of attention, or even people who are not paying as much attention but just want to be successful in life, the most important thing that you can do to be successful in life in this country is to be abusive, because that's what's working. It sucks. It really sucks. I mean, especially with AI, because if you're trying to use AI to better people's lives, that costs money. But if you're using it to better the company, that makes money. And who cares about the lives of anybody else? Who cares about the life's quality of anyone? We don't have any leaders that are like, let's improve the quality of people's lives. Like, they don't. None of them do. They kind of do. They use the safe things to say they're going to improve the quality of their lives. Like Bernie Sanders, let's do a 32-hour work week. That's not going to make people happier, dude. But anyway, it's better to have a good cycle, by the way. It's better to work. It's better to have purpose in life. And if you can do that without work, great, good for you. But most of us aren't really equipped to do that because we have genetic behavioral traits, like thousands of lives. They're like, oh, like work. Work keeps me busy and keeps my mind away from all the crazy shit that goes on in our world, especially. So, yeah, it's fundamentally important that we somehow fix that. But I don't know, I'll tell you. That is love versus abuse, though. And that is very much the true battleground of our reality, I believe. I believe that There are a lot of people out there who would prefer to just be abusive and not be held accountable for it. And in order to do so, they have to make sure there's no people out there who are strong that are lovers, because they will defend and they will prosecute and they will make them criminals that they are. They will hold them accountable for their abusive behavior. And that makes a lot of things happen. And when you look at technology and who has it all now, and how they're using it and the things that are going on in our country, I think it's clear as day that one of the most important things that we can do as people to make our country better and to retake it is to stop being abusive. Like, someone wrongs you, Jesus wasn't wrong about turn the other cheek. Well, you shouldn't turn the other cheek, in my opinion, so much anymore nowadays, because they'll just hit you just as hard again, and that sucks. But you should definitely avoid being abused, 100%. And the best way to do that is not to play into it, unfortunately. Apparently, the more you defend yourself and try to fight back in any way, shape, or form, it will get tougher for you in our society, because abuse is very much the prominent behavioral pattern in people. Think about it. When's the last time you handled a problem with trying not to be abusive and it worked? You know, I don't know. I don't know what everybody else's lives. I just know that I personally have lived a life where I come from abusive behavioral people. Not that they were physically abusive to me, somewhat, but not really. But they were very mentally, emotionally, and behaviorally abusive towards me growing up. And so I kind of took on a lot of that behavior early on, you know, in my younger adult life. And there was a time where I would argue with people very toxically. But I mean, I was just fighting toxicity with toxicity, fighting fire with fire. I had decent intentions, but I was very toxic for a while. For a while, and it took a long time to rid myself of all those tendencies to be toxic and to fight back like that. And I think it's a great thing for me. I think that it's made me a much better and happier and more self-controlled person, and definitely far more aware. But it really sucks when you do all of that and you wake up to a society that is like all in on abuse. I mean, look at around. You guys support abuse all the time. It's awful. I have been treated very abusively by people who did nothing to understand me. Nothing at all. They just said, I'll just abuse because, you know, it's easy. And I don't have to think. And someone told me to. So the next time someone tells you to abuse another person, please think twice.